Hi, it's Dr. Rowe here and welcome to this introduction series on wealth and your wealth vehicles. Now, this was another big area that came up in our survey that myself and Legacy did, going out and asking the questions, which areas you want to focus on most, which areas do you want to get more insights into, etc. And we've obviously talked about purpose in one of the other areas, which was a big one. Wealth and wealth vehicles came up. And then within the wealth vehicles, we started to ask questions about, well, what specifically do you want to know? And this particular section is literally about the choice of wealth vehicles and wealth strategies. So let's just clarify for a minute. When I talk about wealth here, I'm talking about this could be expanding an existing business that you have or starting a new business. If you're watching this and you've come through Legacy Education, for example, this will most definitely be linked with business, property, trading the stock market. And the key, of course, with all of these things is to get a sense of clarity. So the first thing, and again, hopefully you're going to get it to write your notes down, but the one thing I'd like you to do more than anything else is this. Write down this. There are too many choices. Just write that down. There are too many choices. And that's the challenge for anyone going into this field. If I was to stand on a big stage, which many times I've flown around the world, represented Legacy on a large stage, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people, and what happens is I'm there talking about real estate and I'm encouraging people to step up and take the next level and learn how to do this with purpose and passion. And they come up to me and they say, Dr. Rowe, I've signed up to the program to come and look at the 3-day property with you. And by the way, I've signed up for the stock market. And by the way, I've signed up to do the internet business. And by the way, I've signed up to do the 3-day training on how to get my brand right. And I've signed up to do another course, which is about the internet. And by the way, I've signed up to 9 different programs, at which point I usually say to them, go and cancel your event with me. Only come to me if you're focused, because the challenge that most people have is they go off and they try and chase lots of different wealth vehicles. And of course, that's not going to work. Now, if you've watched my intro series on purpose, you know we talked about narrowing down and getting absolutely clear. So if you haven't watched that, go and watch that. So first thing to be aware of is there's too many choices. So what do? How do you choose a vehicle that's right for you? Now, I personally believe, for example, real estate is an amazing vehicle, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But even within real estate, there are multiple choices. So the first thing you've got to ask yourself is, what excites you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Do you get excited about dealing with people, for example? If you do, then the chances are trading the stock market, as wonderful as it may look, may not be right for you. But equally, what excites you may be sitting down, analysing numbers, looking at patterns, seeing how things change with the market conditions. And then in that case, trading would be a great strategy for you. So your alignment with the right vehicle is based on who you are, not what it can offer for you. Because you can make money anywhere in any business strategy. It's making sure it aligns with you. Another one might be, are you good with numbers? Are you good with dealing with projects? If that's the case, then doing a large property project could be very good for your alignment as well. So what excites you? Go and think about that. Don't choose anything yet, just think about what excites you most. The other thing I've got down really in my notes in my mind is this. How much money do you have? Because I meet people on a 3-day basic property weekend. They go, Dr. Rowe, focused. I want to come forward. I want to do the education with Legacy. I want to sign up and do all the different programs, which is great, but I haven't got any money. And I say, great. Okay, well, let's get you signed on to a program that aligns your strategy with the fact that you don't have a lot of money right now. So, for example, if you did lease options as an example, that would be a great property strategy, which enables you to go out, structure a deal where you're controlling a contract for a minimum of £1 down or $1 down, or whichever country you're watching this in. Whereas somebody else might have lots of money and wants to go and buy assets. So whether you have money or not will influence the type of strategy you're choosing. It may be that the reason you're feeling confused right now is because you're choosing strategies that are not in alignment with not just who you are, but where you are financially at the moment or time-wise. So I had a gentleman this last weekend, incredibly busy, doctor, spends about 70 to 80 hours a week in a doctor's surgery where he's physically doing operations. Loves the idea of property, but very busy, but still wants to do real estate. Okay, great. He's got purpose, he's got passion, wants to do this for his kids. But he needs to make sure he chooses a strategy that's more hands-off. Lease options, for example, may not be appropriate for him. Sourcing properties may not be appropriate for him. Trading the stock market actively in front of the market every day may not be appropriate for him. But trading stock market long-term on position or open long trades may be appropriate because he puts a trade in and then monitors maybe once a week. Buying a property for long-term passive income with a mentor that can help him find the properties. Brilliant, he's busy, mentor can help him, sourcing team can help him, more hands-off, feels comfortable, more aligned. But when he was at the seminar, because he got excited, he was like, I want to do everything. And I was like, slow down. So if you're watching this and you're feeling a little bit confused about your choice of vehicle, it's most likely because number one, you haven't found a vehicle that's aligned with you, and number two, you haven't clarified, do you have a lot of time, a lot of money, or no time and no money? Make sense? Hopefully it does. Okay, the fourth thing here is making sure that you understand that there are strategies within strategies. So I'm just thinking to myself how I get that across. Imagine real estate, for example. Let me give you an example. If you've attended any of Legacy Education's programs, you'll know that under the umbrella of real estate, you've got active income and then you've got passive income. If we walk underneath the umbrella of passive income, you've got social housing, you've got buy-to-let, you've got professional lets, you've got multi-lets, you've got HMOs, you've got lease options with passive income, you've got commercial, and I could go on and on. Where do I start? Well, it comes back to the same thing. If you're starting off and you're not sure, and I know it's easy to go for the big deals, go back to the question. What do you get most excited about? Do you like dealing with people? Do you like being more hands-on, which means you get involved in the projects, you renovate a project and then you sell it on? Or do you want to be more hands-off? Are you somebody that connects more with numbers or more with people? Do you have a lot of money, not a lot of money? So it goes back to the same thing I've been talking about throughout this process, which is who are you? What do you feel attracted to? How much time and how much money have you got? If you start there in any business, that will help you then start to choose the right vehicles for you. It's the same thing with a business that involves the internet. You know, internet businesses are great, but actually you've still got to sit there, you've still got to analyze, you've still got to do the market research, get the stats together and do your running your campaigns. That for me does not turn me on. And as much as I enjoy business, that's not who I am. So your business, and we'll come back to this a little bit later on, has to align with who you are at your core. And we'll learn about that in the next part of the series.